Welcome to the SJ Childs Show, where a little bit of knowledge can turn fear into understanding. Enjoy the show. Hi, and thanks for joining the SJ Childs Show. Today I have Tracy, and I'm gonna let you pronounce your last name so that I don't do it any damage. It's really nice to have you here today, and I'm really looking forward to getting into our discussion and learning more about you, hearing your story. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today.
Okay, so I am an integrative health coach, and I am the best-selling author of Warrior Mom, A Mother's Journey in Healing Her Son with Autism. So it's been quite the amazing but beautiful journey. So I have a new book coming out April 4th.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
yeah, you can see it.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it really was about me addressing those underlying conditions associated with autism, so my child could learn to function. But on this amazing journey, I had some great angels that guided me on my perfect path to healing Noah, and I don't know where I would have been without them. And it was just when I see the struggles of parents who have children with autism or any neurological disorder for that matter, it's hard to navigate the system. You really don't know what to do, where to go. You feel lost, you feel helpless. And so my goal was to truly just, one, give them inspiration and hope, that a diagnosis of any sort is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
It really is just the beginning of a beautiful journey, because I truly believe my son gave me purpose, and he's an amazing kid.
Amen. That's how I started, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
So I took a completely non-functioning child, and with biomedical intervention, addressing those underlying conditions that he was struggling with. And, he's fully functioning today. Yeah. So, and it happened in just a short period of time, although it was a lot of hard work. I do not say there is a one pill cure all. There is no cure. It really is you making them as healthy as possible so they can be fully functioning.
Yeah.
And that was my goal and my journey. And I had, some great direction from some wonderful doctors in the industry. And as to where I knew, what direction to take and how to address these conditions. So, and I gave it, just addressing something like gut issues, gave my son his speech back.
Yeah.
And, so there's so much to think of, but then a lot of parents, I was big because it took me 2.5 years to figure out what was wrong with my kid, because the doctor couldn't bother to spend more than 5 minutes with me.
Yeah.
And Harbor Regional Center lost our paperwork, and preschools are like, I'm sorry, your kids got special needs. So really, what do you do if you think your kid could have some sort of neurological disorder? What are your steps? Where do you go prior to the age of 3? Where do you go after the age of 3? Yeah. These are all things that I lay out in this book, and, how to navigate the system and really, be a warrior parent, not just because I wrote it, I put warrior mom, but I've done it without the warrior dad. And I know equally, parents are really out there battling the system for their children to get treatments and therapies and the best care that they possibly can. There's so much offered now than there was when I started this journey. And
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What year did you start kind of getting your education about?
So his actual diagnosis was early 2009.
Okay, we're 2010, so
it was
I understand that lack of information that was out there to go searching for, and like you said, doctors didn't have the answers. I was lucky the same way to have some friends in some areas that worked with in the school systems or whatnot, that just had better ideas of giving me resources to start with. And boy, the education and research that I gained from that. And then it's great that we have similar interests or similar paths in that changing, the diet changes right away were life changing. And they brought, like you said, the speech and reduced the stimming and made a easier path for a child who still today is challenged in many ways. He has a global developmental delay as well, and he's 13 going on college professor, I like to say, because he has a photographic memory and his academic levels are, ridiculous, but those, so that the life skills, social skills, those things that we take for granted, buttoning our sweaters, tying our shoes, like having these graceful conversations back and forth with one another. Yes, he's verbal. Yes, things have been, seem 1,000 times easier now than they did back then. But at the same time, he still isn't communicating on, a level that would be safe for him in public or, alone on his own or something independently. But we're always working on these things. And there's always, each child's journey is so different than the next. And we also have a daughter 2 years younger with autism dyslexia diagnosis. And wow, she is just 1,000% different than her brother in every way. It's like, other than they look a lot alike, like how the cellular part of it, but those um, really beginning, because we already had the knowledge, really beginning practices of removing casein or the gluten or just watching what was going in, and what it was outputting. And I think that our generation, we they didn't give us enough information on how we should be using our foods and intaking things and like, so yeah, we're doing better, I think, in now is that we're parents and we're trying to be the change and make changes happen in the world. So yeah, it's
I
fascinating.
think we're becoming more aware of what's out there, all the different environmental factors that are affecting our children on a daily basis, the air you breathe, the water you drink. I mean, there's a number of things that
So many.
contribute to neurological dysfunction.
Mm.
And it's growing rampant.
Yeah.
And the government's not doing anything to fix it. It's just getting worse. And then now you've got like explosions and this and that, and all these toxins leaking into people's water systems.
Yes.
And so I always tell parents, you have to pick or choose your battles.
Yeah.
And to make sure that your child is living the most healthiest life possible is number one. Remove as many toxins as you can from the home. So I do write a lot about the different environmental toxins, what you can do to safeguard your home and, avoid reintroducing those toxic things into your home or your environment, how to address it from a, modern therapy space or a non-traditional treatment or therapy space. I always say, because people are like, well, where do you start? You always start with the gut. But it's like I threw everything at Noah but the kitchen sink to get that kid to function. And I believe that not every child, as has the same reaction as our children.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So some parents will throw everything at their kid with the kitchen sink and they will get, no results or not very limited results. So it's not going to hurt your kid to clean out their gut and feed them real food.
Right. Right.
No contraindications there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To really address those things. And what we don't realize is this major connection between the gut and the brain, and that the nervous system is connected between the gut and the brain. And that anytime that your gut and your microbiome is off, it is going to affect you neurologically. It's
Yeah.
going to cause behaviors. It's going to make you, foggy brained, and all those different things. And I learned that going through the same protocol as my son.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, I'm not
Yeah.
going to make him eat, a certain way and me not do it myself.
Right.
And in turn, I really just started to heal my own body.
Love that.
But there's new stuff coming out like every day. It seems like every time I turn my head around, there's something new. But I really wanted to give parents hope. And I believe it starts with having faith that your child can fully function.
Yeah.
I don't claim a cure or nothing, but if you just truly believe that your child can live the best life possible, you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And from there, I mean, because during this, my husband and I lost our home, we lost our business. I was still plugging through. I was bartering for treatments. I didn't care. There wasn't anything that told me my son wasn't going to get that treatment and it wasn't going to happen for him. So I did what I had to do, which
Yeah.
brought out the warrior in me and taught me really who I am.
Hmm.
So, and then the next part is really like your guidebook. What do you do if you think your kid could have autism or any other neurological disorder? What does that look like? What's the process? What are some resources?
Yeah.
It's really hard to Google things these days because so much is,
Too much.
yeah, a lot of it's scrubbed. And when we Googled back in the late 2000s, it was like, oh my gosh, you got so many resources. So what are some great books to read? You know, and then really just moving into the different healing modalities. Not every parent's willing to put forth the work, but I always say, if you want the best possible outcome, the earlier the intervention, the better the
Yeah.
outcome. And really, if you have an opportunity to give your kid that functional life,
Mm.
um, wouldn't you at least try?
Yeah.
But and I don't sugarcoat nothing either. Nothing in life worth having comes easy, right?
Right.
It's a tough fight. It
Yeah.
truly is a battle at times, and battling with school districts, as
Mm.
getting services for your
Yeah.
child, dealing with the medical system and how it works and all this stuff,
Hmm.
all of it. And really just, recently I've been putting together, like, I've been working with a trainer to put together a TED talk. And we're like, well, what's the topic going to be? And the main thing that he pointed out was, what did your son teach you? And
Mm.
I'm like, well, my son taught me to step outside the box.
Hmm.
Because I used to always use this analogy in a way. When he was little and he was in kindergarten, his kindergarten teacher used to get so frustrated with him because as every kid was playing with the toys inside the box, Noah was the one inside the box
Yeah.
playing with toys, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of times we live in fear and we're so afraid of what is that going to look like?
Hmm.
So as my kid dresses up like Kermit the Frog to go on his senior class,
Thank you very much.
yeah, his senior class trip to Disneyland, right? I said, are you ever worried that, people are going to make fun of you or tease you? And he looks at me and he's like, Mom, the only one who worries about that is you.
Oh.
And I'm like, touche.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those are my own fears and has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Did he go through his, periods of being bullied? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Elementary school, middle school was the worst, but high school is a different game. And then my niece who lives with us also made a very valid point as well. She said, Aunt Tracy, you don't realize the society that we live in today and how kids think. It's normal to go walking around dressed up like Kermit the Frog or whatever it is that
They're
you
just
identify with.
accepting of that.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay to wear a blanket. right?
right?
They don't
But
look at them any differently.
and it's just a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes we as parents just get to embrace who they are. And
Mm,
my son is fully functioning today. He's 17 years old. He's an honor roll student. He's going to graduate this year. And he,
congratulations.
thank you. It's bittersweet. It's so,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we
Isn't
just
that the
had our
truth?
last IEP, and I'm like,
Oh.
I know, right?
Then
So,
don't you love it when they finally go good because you've done so many that you're like, guys, I got you. Like, I'm going to take care of you during this IEP, teachers. It's okay. We got this together. And they're like, help us, please. It's so sweet now to see like we just had ours last week or so. And it was just so, yeah, it went so fast, so smoothly. And I was like, wow, if I heard this story every time I heard an IEP story,
right?
this would be the best. Yes.
Oh, if only, right? It seems,
Yes.
and they do start to develop more as they get
Yeah.
older and they grow into their own. Now he can drive, he could take care of himself. Um, and I don't really worry about Noah being out in society
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's fantastic.
taking care of himself.
Yeah.
He might not clean his room.
Pick your battles, right? Like you said.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that comes with like teenage boy, you
And
know.
girl, don't worry. That's happening with my preteen right now. Right now.
And then
Oh,
the
that's
sad
funny.
part is when you start to I mean, you as a mom know this. They become teenagers and there's this disconnection. And before it
Yes.
was like, they were like attached to you.
Yeah.
Now he's like, Mom, really,
Exactly.
keep your space.
Right, right. Oh, I know. And then you cherish those moments when you can just get, when they're tired or they just feel maybe if they're sick or something. I know our daughter kind of almost reverts to more, being safe in her childhood and things. And so she'll like, and she's still young, she's only 11, but we see that in when she's going through a hard time that it's like this, reverting back to some of the things that made her feel safe. And you're just like, oh, my little girl.
And
Eat those
I think
moments up.
that's really important today because everything around us is all fear based.
Yeah.
And when we were, I was, I took my son in for his annual, like, doctor visit
Yeah.
with the doctor, and she's like, "Do you have any concerns or whatever?" And because when they were locked inside for a while with
Mm.
COVID, he was feeling a little bit of depression because he wasn't getting as much sunlight, and we're not activating those neurotransmitters,
Yeah.
that produce that serotonin and so on and so forth. So she's explaining it to him, and he said, really, he said, "I'm doing much better than my friends."
Oh.
Because in society today, he said, the thought of the unknown is scary, is how he put
Mm.
it. And I thought to myself, I'm like, my husband and I are all about educating Noah.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of times as a teenager, they don't want to listen.
Mm.
Right? And they think, oh, well, mom and dad are just these conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. 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 Right.
So we have to remember where we were back then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at some point. But
Yeah.
really, to no matter what or how that opportunity is presented, to educate them, whether they want to listen or they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to listen. Somehow
Yeah.
they're
You're
listening.
planting a seed no matter
Yes.
what. Exactly. Exactly. I
Yeah. And I
completely
feel
agree with that.
that's really important
Mm.
because fear can cause all kinds of stuff. It can cause health
Yeah.
issues. It can, it's traumatizing and
Mm.
it's sad. I was really upset when I heard that my son, prior to COVID, was watching the news.
Yeah. Right.
And why?
Yeah.
Oh, current events. I'm like, really? So you're having him watch fake news
Yeah.
and them promote fear. So you're instilling fear into our kids in the school system.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh.
It's
And,
just not, doesn't serve us anymore.
it doesn't. So
No.
really, I think it's always in the end, it's up to the parents, and we have to like not allow the system to program our kids or
Yeah.
to instill that fear in them, because no matter what, see, I'm very spiritual, so I'm always like, I'm a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. I don't know
Mhm.
how long I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
I really don't. And we're all on our own perfect journey. So even though, so the very last chapter in the story part of my book, I named it "Let Go and Let God," because at some
Mm.
point you have to let go of them and
Yeah.
trust that God will have His own perfect plan for them laid out, and they'll fall down. You'll be there to pick them up. They're not.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, sometimes it's just, for the longest time, it was a struggle for me to just really come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And, but it's a beautiful journey.
Oh.
And I feel truly blessed to have, had a son with autism and to be on this growing path with him.
Yeah. And the community that I've found through the autism community, the mom to mom, right? You
Yep.
can just be like, yes, I finally somebody gets it, somebody can understand a lot of these things. And just wanted to congratulate you on a couple of things. Number one, the book, of course, and put it up so we can see it again.
Okay.
So definitely. And I'll make sure all of the links and everything, and we can talk about a good day to release this to get it right with the book. It's wonderful. And where do we find it? Number one, and you can answer that in a minute, but congratulations on also making such a great connection with your son, because a lot of parents don't take time to make the connection with them. And that comes in that trust and that care. Sorry. So, congratulations on that. You've done such a great job in doing that. And that's why he is so functioning so great in the world today. So, yeah, great job, mom. Yeah. Yeah, but tell us where we can when it comes out. I'm sure, is there a website? Where can we go to find out all the good information?
So wherever books are sold, you can find my book.
Great.
So whether it be Barnes and Noble, Amazon, wherever, I
Perfect.
don't discriminate wherever. April 4th, the paperback will be out. Currently, you can get the ebook.
Okay, great.
Not a lot of people are fans of ebooks, but sometimes they want the information right away. They can get the ebook.
Yeah.
They can go to warriormom.org, and there's a book page that tells you all about, all the different sites. So you can, if you choose to, buy your book on Book Depository or
Yeah.
whatever, you can click on there and it'll take you directly to my book. So I just made it
Perfect.
really super easy. And then I'm going to build out that platform of resources and information, because there's always something
Yeah.
new to
Oh, yes.
children.
Isn't that the truth? Well,
Uh,
what about
so,
social medias?
so social media, I am the only Tracy Slepcivic out there. So,
No, no.
um, if you look at my name, so Facebook, I have an author page, and then I also have Warrior Mom Book. So, like Instagram, I have a lot of my videos and interviews on Rumble.
Okay, great. I'm on Rumble
And
too.
it's under Warrior Mom Book for those.
Okay.
And I have a Facebook page, Warrior Mom Book. If not the rest, my Instagram is Autism Author Tracy. So
Yeah.
they always
That's where
say,
I sent the message this morning.
you want people to do a search, you got to search what I would say. So
Yeah.
autism, I'm an author, and there's my name. And then I have a Twitter account too, and I have LinkedIn. If you name it, it's out there.
It's out there, right? Yeah.
But it's really easy to just do a search for Tracy Slepcivic, but if you search the book, you can see how to spell my name.
Yeah, right. Good thinking. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you better today. I apologize for the quick time, but I hope we can do it again. If you have anything else coming up, if you decide to write a second book or anything, let's keep in touch so that we can
Okay.
support each other. And it was just really great to get to know you. And I look forward to staying in connection with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me.
Thanks for coming. And yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks.